Hi, good day everyone. Today we are going to be doing Csec Math Paper 1, and the section that we'll be focusing on today's section is we will be focusing on section 1, which, as we know, section 1 is number theory, right? So let's go now. Number theory is the first 6 questions in your multiple choice, right? Paper 1 is a multiple choice. You are not allowed your calculator, right? You're only allowed a pencil. Yeah, only allowed a pencil, right? Are you allowed a pen? Maybe to write like your name and stuff, but other than that, writing your answers, well, shading your answers in the little paper that they give you is in pencil. Also, make sure you have a clean eraser because it's a computer that's correcting it, right? Not actual persons, right? So let's go. The first question is negative 3 squared plus negative 2 squared is equal to, now we know to the power 2 or squared, right, means negative 3 by negative 3. Yeah, that's what. So this is negative 3 squared plus negative 2 squared would be negative 3 by negative 3, which is positive 9, and 2 by 2 is 4, 9 plus 4 is 13, so the answer would be D. Everyone understands that? Good. What is the value of the digit 6 in number? So 48.621. This is your tens column. So 6 over 10. Right? What number when added to 1 and 1 gives 2? Right? You can use your answers instead of, going and subtracting and those type of things. You could say 1 and 1/3 plus a 1/3 is 1 and 2/3, so it's not A. 1 and 1/3 plus 2/3, a third plus 2/3 is a whole, so a whole and a whole gives you 2. So it would be B. Right? Through process of elimination. This one, what is the next term in the sequence? We know from 1 to 6 is you add 5. From 6 to 13, you add, that's 6 and 6 is 12. So you're adding 7. 7 plus, so that's 13, 22 minus 13 is 9. Right? And I bet this one is 11. So if there is no constant value, however, if we look at 5, 7, 9, 11, we can see a pattern. 5, 7, 9, 11. The difference of these is 2. Difference of this is 2. Difference of this is 2. So 11 plus 2 is 13. So we would know it would be 13 plus, 11. The next one that we'll have to add is 13. Right? So 13 plus 13 is 3 and 3, 6. 3 and 1, 4, 46. So the answer is C, 46. Everyone understands all these questions thus far? Alright, let's go. What is the least number of apples? When you see least number of something and they give you a group of numbers, right? What is the least number of apples that can be shared equally either among 6, 10, or 15 children? They're asking you for the LCM, lowest common multiple. Right, the LCM of 6, 10, and 15 is the lowest number that can go into all 3 of these numbers. You can go through this. You can say, instead of doing this method, you can look through these numbers, right, and see. However, let's do it the old-fashioned way. 2 into 6 is 3. 2 into 10 is 5. 2 into 15 cannot. Any number that you're using outside here is your prime number, right? Can 2 go into any of these numbers? No, so you use 3. 3 into 3 is 1. 3 into 5 cannot. 3 into 15 is 5. And you use 5, because 5 is the next prime number. 1, 1, 1. Right, so 2 3s are 6, 6 5s are 30. So the LCM is 30. Alright? Or what you could have done is look through at all numbers. Can 6 go into 24? Yes. Can 10 go into 24? No. So it cannot be 24. Then you go to the next one. Can 6 go into 30? Yes. Can 10 go into 30? Yes. Can 15 go into 30? Yes. And that is the smallest number among all these numbers, so therefore it has to be B. That is the next way you could have done it, right? Let's look at number 6. A certain amount of money is shared among Jay, Troy, and Jordan. So again, I told you guys, anytime they give you the ratio, the order in which they give these numbers is the order in which they give the names is the order in which the ratio is split apart. So J would be 2 parts, Troy is 3 parts, and Jordan, I'll just put G-O, is 9 parts. Alright, if Troy received 40 more than J, then the amount of money shared is, they want the total amount of money, so we need to find the total amount of parts. Right, 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 plus 9 is 14. So 14, right, that's 14 parts. Then we see that the difference between Troy and J, so Troy and J is 1 part. So they're telling you 1 part is equal to $40. Yeah, because they told you the difference. Then they want to know 14 parts, which would be 40 multiplied by 14, which is, you just multiply 14 by 4 and then add a 0, right? 4 4s are 16, 1 4 is 4, 5, so it'll be 560. So the answer would be D. Do we understand number 6? Right, and that is the end of May-June 2024. Okay, so now we're going to be doing Jan 2024, numbers 1 to 6, paper 1. Paper 1 says the number 314063 written to 3 decimal places, and we know when they say 3 decimal places, that's 3 digits after your decimal point. That's 1, 2, 3. A line will be drawn here. You usually, whenever we write something to a certain number of decimal places, we also round off, right? So you round off to 3 decimal places. So it's 3.14063. We count 1, 2, 3. The third decimal would be here. 6 is more than 5, so you add 1 to the digit in front. So this would be 3.141. So the answer would be B. What this question, you see this question number 1 and also number 2 is a very repetitive question. What percentage of 40 is 8? Now, in fractions, there's something called is over off. Right? So the is say is 8, off is 40, and they want to know percent, that's 100. 8 into 8, 1, 8 into 45, 5 into 100, 20, so the answer is B. Alright, number 3 in standard notation, that's 208.06. I want it in standard notation or scientific notation, which means standard form, right? So in standard form, we want 1 digit in front of your decimal point. So it cannot be this and it cannot be this. Through a process of elimination, we're looking for something that only has 1 digit in front of your decimal. Alright? We know when your power is negative, we went to the right hand side. But we are shifting this to the left hand side. 1, 2. So it cannot be A. So through process of elimination, it will be C. Right, but you shift 2 times, so the answer will be 2.0806 multiplied by 10 to the power of 2, because you shifted 2 to the right hand side. This one, again, this is a repeated question. What is the least number of apples that can be shared equally among 10, 6, 10, 15 children? We know the answer should be 30. Alright, let's look at this one here. If 350 is shared between 2 to 5 in a ratio of 2 to 5, what is the larger share? Between 2 and 5, which one is larger? 5. They told you the total amount is 350. So we know the total amount in parts would be 7 parts is 350. So 1 part would be 350 divided by 7, which is equals to 50 parts. So 50 parts, right? They want to know 5 parts. 50 by 5 is $250, which is D. Alright, and that is the answer. Number 6 is our next repeated question. There are 40 students in a class. Girls make up 60% of the class. 25% of the girls wear glasses. How many girls in the class wear glasses? So first off, we need to find out number of girls. Number of girls would be 60 over 100 multiplied by 40 over 1. Cross out these zeros. We know that 6 fours are 24. Right, there are 24 girls. And how many wear glasses? 25%. That's a quarter of 24. So a quarter of 24, immediately your mind should go to A. But if you want to do it, 25%, 25 over 100 multiplied by 24 over 1. 25 and 25, 1. 25 into 100, 4. 4 into 4, 1. 4 into 24 is 6. So the answer would be 6. And 6 girls. And that would be the answer for January 2024 paper 1 for consumer for number 3. Now we're going to do May June 2023 paper 1. Alright, let's do this one. This is a repeated question. Minus 3 squared plus negative 2 squared. If you remember, the answer is 13, right? Minus 3 is 9. 9 and minus 2 squared is 4. 9 plus 4 is 13. So the answer is 13. This question we just now did it. What percentage of 40 is 8? That's 8 over 40 multiplied by 100 over 1. 5 going to 120. 5 going to 120 times. So we know it is 20%. We don't remember the answer. Or what is 0.45 written as a common fraction in its simplest form? We know 0.45 to turn this to a fraction. We count the decimal point as 1. And how many digits are there after your decimal point? 2. So you put your decimal point as 1, and then there will be 2 zeros. So there will be 45 over 100. However, they want it in the simplest form. 5 could go into this, and 5 go into this. This would be 9 over 20. So that is the answer E. Then they want this. Now we have to remember when multiplying number 4, let's read it and then let me explain. Number 4, if 235 multiplied by 48.7 is equals to 11,444.5, then they want to know what is 2.35 multiplied by 4.87. Right, now what do we know about this? When multiplying decimals, we usually would multiply the number as is. 235 multiplied by 487, and you would get this answer without the decimal point. 114445. Right? Then you would count how many digits after a decimal point. 1 digit, and you would shift it back once. Right? That's how you would get your answer. So this would be 114445, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 digits, so you shift it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer would be 11.4443. Right? 5. Right? You're looking for that. That would be A. So guys, in a question like this, it is not a matter of you have to multiply this and then multiply it in total and then carry back your decimal point. You have to know the knowledge of when we are multiplying decimals. What is the process? Number 5. A test was marked out of 80. So we know that the total is 80. A boy scored 60% of the mark. So that's 60 over 100 multiplied by 80 over 1. This. 6 8s are 48. So the answer is B. Right. Number 6 says Dan sold 40 concert tickets in 5 days. Oh, this one. Each day he sold 3 more than the previous day. What is the ratio of number of tickets he sold to day 3 to the number of tickets to day 5? Now this one we have to kind of do some working on this, right? So first off, we have how many days? We have day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and day 5. Right? We know when you add all of this up, the total number of tickets. So would be 40. Alright, they said each day he sold 3 more than the previous day. So if, let's say, at 1, he sold X, because we don't know how much he sold initially, right? So X. We know the second day would be X plus 3, because again, he sold 3 more. Right, the next day would be X plus 3, which was X plus 6. Then this one would be X plus 6 plus 3 is 9. Then this would be X plus 12. Do you understand that? Now you can add all of this up. This would be 5x plus 3 plus 6 is 9. 9 and 9 is 18. 18 and 12 is 30. Yeah, it's 30. And all of that is equals to 40. So, 5x would be 40 minus 30 for 5x would be 10. So, x is equals to 2. So, he started with 2 tickets, right? So, they tell you to compare day 3 and day 5. Day 3 will be 6 plus 2 is 8. 6 plus 2 is 8. 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8. And day 5 would be 4. Did I do something wrong? Is 14. So the ratio is going to be a 8 to 14 ratio. What could go into 8 and 14? 2. So that would be 4 to 7. So they say day 3 to day 5. So it cannot be this, it can't be this, and it can't be this. It would be B. Right? And that is how you would get this answer. Do we understand this, everyone? Let's go ahead. And now we're going to be doing January 2023, paper 1, number theory, number 1 to 6. Okay. Right, this one. What is the value of digit 2 in number? This is our next repeated question, but if we don't know this, 2 would be 2 over 100, right? This is 6 over 10, and this is 2 over 100. What percentage of 50 is 10? It is over of, is over of. So it would be 10 over 50 multiplied by 100 over 1. You will still get that 20%, right? This one, write in standard notation. Again, in standard notation, this is a repeated, no, this is not a repeated question. This question, when we ask the standard notation, we only want 1 digit in front of your decimal point. So B would be out of the question, and D would be out of the question, right? Then we have to look at which direction we're moving it to the right hand side or left hand side. We have to shift it to the right hand side, and when we shift to the right hand side, the power is negative. So it cannot be A, it has to be C. But let's just do it 0.02086, shift it 1, 2. So this would be 2.086 multiplied by 10. Because we shifted to the right, it would be negative. And how many places? 2, so it's negative 2. And that's the answer for this one. Number 4, in a school, the ratio of number of pupils to number of teachers. So pupils to teachers is 20 to 1. This is our next repeated question, so pay attention to this, right? If the number of pupils is 840, how many teachers are there? So we know that 20 parts is equals to 840. So you want to know what is 1 part, which would be 840 divided by 20. Cross out this. That would be 2 into 8 is 4. 2 into 4 is 2. So it would have 42 students, because again we know there's 1 part of teachers, so that when we divide this, you'll get how many teachers there are. Number 5, a bag of apples can be shared. Again, this is a repeated question. A bag of apples can be shared among 6 to 10 to 15 children. Like the minimum number of apples that they are likely to be. The minimum number of apples there is likely to be, that is 30. They're asking you for the LCM, right? 30 is the lowest number of apples that will be shared. This one, again, is the process of knowing multiplication. Is it? Yes, it is. 4.3 multiplied by 0.37 would be 1.591. We have 1, 2, 3, so we know that your decimal point was shifted 3 places, right? So if I have 43 multiplied by 37, it would be 1591. I am looking at this, I only shift 43 multiplied by 0.37 would be 1591, and you have to shift it 2 places, 1, 2. So the answer would be 15.91, B. And that would be it for January 2023. Now we are going to be doing May, June 2022, paper 1, number 3, 1 to 6. Alright, let's go. Right. This one is a repeated question. Minus 3 squared plus minus 2 squared is 13. The value of 2, this is our next repeated question. What is the value of digit 2 in number 48.621? We know that's 2 over 100. Alright, this one, a repeated question as well. We know 1 and 1/3 plus 2/3 would give you 2. This is a repeated question. It was 33 plus 13, which was 46. Then we have 30% of a number is 45. What is 4/5 of the number? So they say 30 over 100 multiplied by some number. Let's call that x is 45. So if we had to make x a subject, x would be 45 divided by 30 over 100. So x would be 45 multiplied by 100 over 30. Cross out this, cross out this. 3 into 3, 1, 3 into 4, 1, remainder 1, 3 into 5. So we know that the number is 150. Right? So 4 over 5 multiplied by 150 would be, they said, what is 4? Okay, 4/5 of the number. That is 30. 4, that is 120. So B would be your answer. Hold on. A certain amount of money is shared in ratio 2 to 3 to 9. If the difference between the first and second share is 40, then the amount of money shared is... This is similar to J, Troy, and... Is Jaden? Jaden, Troy, and someone else. Right? But let's do it. They say 2 to 3 to 9. Right? And the difference between the first and second share, which is 2 and 3. So one part is equals to 40, and then the total amount shared, which we know was 14 parts, because 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 plus 9 is 14, so 14 parts would be 40 multiplied by 14, and we got 560. Do you remember this question, guys? So they did give you the exact same question, they just change up the number, the words. They told you that it was, they had names for it, and they said that J got more, some number of parts more than, I don't know the exact name, but it was similar. Right? So that is the end of right, May, June. That was the end of May, June 2022. Now we're going, well, for number theory number 1 to 6. Now we're going to do January 2022, paper 1, number theory 1 to 6. Alright, so let's go and see if we can do this quickly as well. What percentage of 40 is 8? We did this, was 20, was 8 over 40 multiplied by 100 over 1. Cross out the 0, cross out, I'll do the multiplication a different way. Cross out the zeros, 4 into 4, 1, 4 into 8, 2, 2 by 10 is 20. Write this number correct to 3 digits, so 3, we got, the answer was B, right? 3.14063. 3 decimal places, draw this thing. This here is more than 5, you add 1, which would be 3.141. Alright? And that is the answer. This one was also a similar question. However, you need to pay attention, because they kind of try to trick you here. Alright? 4.3 multiplied by 0.37 is 1.591. Which we know would be... So 43 times 37 is 1591, and they shift the decimal 3 places. But look at this question. This is 43 multiplied by 370. 0.43 multiplied by 370. So we would have to know what is 43 multiplied by 370, which is the same thing as 43 multiplied by 37 multiplied by 10. So we would multiply this by 10, which would be 15910, right? 15910, and we're shifting it 2 places, 1, 2. So the answer would be C. So they did try to trick you with that extra 0, but again, if you know your rules for multiplication of a decimal, you should be good. The first three common multiples of 3, 4, and 6 are common multiples, means numbers that go into each number, right? So 3 could go into, it would not be this one. So 3 to 3, yes, but can 3 go into 4? No. Let's look at this. Could 3 go into 6? Yes. Could 3 go into 8? No. So from process of elimination, the answer is D. You need to make sure that these multiples could go. So 3 could go into 12, yes. 3 could go into 24, yes. 3 could go into 36, yes. 4 could go into 12, yes. 4 could go into 24, yes. 4 could go into 36, yes. And 6 could go into 12, yes. 6 could go into 24, yes. 6 could go into 36, yes. Right? But through a process of elimination, just by comparing the first digit with all three of them, you will see that the only answer could be D. Right? This question, the last time we did it, they asked for the larger share. Now they're asking for the smaller share. So you do need to read the question carefully. If 350 is shared in a ratio 2 to 5, so we know 2 to 5, which is 7 parts, right? So 7 parts is equals to 350. You ask for 1 part, which would be 350 divided by 7, which is equals to 50. Then they want the smaller share was 2 parts, so which would be 50 by 2, which is 100. This question, we did it already, and the answer was E. Right? There are 40 students in class. You find 60% of the class is girls. They want to know that, and 25% of the girls wear glasses. So 60% of 40, this is 24. And then we find 25%, 25 over 100 multiplied by 24 over 1. Oh, hold on. 4 here. 4 could go into 24 6 times. So the answer is 6. Right? And that is the end of January 2022. Now we're going to go to May, June 2021. Paper 1, number 3, 1 to 6. Alright, so let's go on to this here. This is our next repeated question. Negative 3 squared plus negative 2 squared, we know that's 13. What percentage of 40 is 8? That's 20%. Right? This one here, again, through the process of knowing what you have to do, or how do you multiply decimals, we know that you have to look for a digit that has 1, 2, 3, 4 digits after a decimal point, and the only one with 4 digits after a decimal point is A. Using distributive properties, 49 multiplied by 17 plus 49 multiplied by 3 is, what do they have in common? 49, open bracket, multiplied by 17 plus 3, which is 49 multiplied by 20. So the answer is B. So distributive properties means that you put it in brackets, right? So what does 49 multiply by 17? Let's do it like this. You look at it like this. And 49 multiplied by 3 have in common. They have 49 in common, right? And then we say, well, hi. Oh, sorry, I put add. No, it is 49 multiplied by 20. You are correct. It's E. Right? So you add 17 and 20, and that's how you get 49 by 20. Right, number 5, the test was, this is a repeated question. They say the test was marked out of 80. A boy scored 60% of the marks. So 60% of 80 was 6 8s over 48. B was the answer. 60 over 100 multiplied by 80 over 1. This. 6 8s are 48. This one, Dan sold 40 tickets in 5 days. Each day he sold 3 tickets more than the previous day. The number of tickets he sold on the third day is, if you guys remembered, we got X to be 2, and the third day was 2 plus 9, which would have been 11. But let's just check it because we want to make sure, right? So we have day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? This is X plus 3, x plus 6. No, I was wrong. 6 plus 2 is 8. The answer would have been 8. Then x plus 9. Then this was x plus 12. When you add this all up, you get 5x plus 30 is equals to 40. Right? Then 5x would have been 40 minus 30. 5x is equals to 10. So x would have been 2. So you want day 3. Day 3 is 2 plus 6, which is equal to 8. So the answer is A, 8. Alright? And that is the end of May-June 2022. No, 2021. Now we're going to be doing January 2021, paper 1, number 3, number 1 to 6. Alright, let's go. The first question is a repeated question. What is the value of digit 2 in this? This is 2 over 100. Then this 22.2 divided by 0.02. Again, we need to know the process of division of decimals, because this is pretty easy. You shift this twice. Hold on, let me get my pen. Shift this twice, 1, 2, and if you because we need to make a divisor, a whole number. If you shift this twice, you have to also shift this twice, 1, 2. So the answer would be 2, 2, 2, 0 divided by 2, which is 1, 1, 1, 0. So the answer would be D. Alright? Look at 3. Who wants it in standard notation? This is a repeated question. We want one digit in front of the decimal, so it's not D and it's not B. Right? Because we're going, to shift this to the right. Okay, because we have to shift to the right hand side, you know your power is positive, so the answer is A and not C. Right? This question we did already. In a school, the ratio of number of pupils to number of teachers is 20 to 1. If the number of pupils is 840, how many teachers are there? So that was 840 divided by 20, I believe, and we got 42 to be the answer. Alright, this one. What is the least number of atoms that can be shared equally among 6 to 10 to 15 children? We got 30 to be the answer, if you remember, right? This question was a tricky question that we have to pay attention to. I believe the answer was this, right? But let's just check it out. It's 4.3 multiplied by 0.37 is equals to 1.591, right? So therefore 43 multiplied by 37 would be 1591. So they want to know what is 0.43 multiplied by 370, but we have to recognize that that is not in this format. So we have to put it 43 multiplied by 37 multiplied by 10, because 37 by 10 is 370, right? Would be 1591 multiplied by 10, which is 15910. And you have to shift it twice, 1, 2, so that is how we got C to be the answer. Right? And that is the end of January 2021. Now we're going to be doing January 2020, number 1, number 3, number 1 to 6. Please note that there is no May-June 2021, 2020. So let's look. What percentage of 40 is 8? That is a repeated question. The answer is B. Right? 2 over 3 squared is 2 over 3 multiplied by 2 over 3 squared is 2 over 3 multiplied by 2 over 3, which is 4 over 9. So that would be A. Right, next one. Let's look at this question. Number 3 says the square root of 17 squared minus 15 squared. That would be the square root of 17 squared was 289 minus 15 squared, which is 225, I believe. Yes, 225. Right, when you subtract this, you're going to get the square root of 64. Square root of 64 is 8, so the answer is C. Right, the square root that the square root of 191 lies between. Right, now for this question here, you need to know what all these squared. First of all, 45 squared and 46 squared is not going to be this low of a number, so it will not be D. Right? 11 squared is 121 and 13 squared is 169. Does 191 lie between that? No. This is 144 and 13 squared is 169. Again, no. But C, which is 169 and 196, 191 lies between those two numbers, so we know the answer would be C. Yeah? This one here, 99 multiplied by 101 has the same value of, now you have to recognize that when you look at these, or when you're multiplying, let's put 101 multiplied by 99, right? This would be 99 multiplied by how many hundreds? Multiplied by 100 plus 99 multiplied by how many ones? Multiplied by 1 ones. So it will not be this. You are not, when you are multiplying, now when we're doing long multiplication, you say 99 by, 99 by this digit first, which is hundreds, right? And then we would say 99 multiplied by 1, right? So you would not do, it would not be this, it would not be this, because this is too much of a large number. We're not subtracting. So the only answer it could possibly be is D. Right, this question is a repeated question. They ask you how many girls wear glasses. If we recall, it was 24 girls in the class, and a quarter or 25% of 24 is E, if we recall, right? And that is the end of January 2020. Okay, let's go on to May, June 2019, paper 1, number 3, number 1 to 6. This is a repeated question. We know the answer is 13. This is our next repeated question. 1 and 1/3 plus 2/3 is 2. This 1.1 divided by 0.01. Shift this. You want your divisor to be a whole number. If you shift it twice, you have to shift the decimal point above twice. So it will be 1,110 divided by 1, which is D. 12.5%. You need to understand that 12.5 is 1/8. So they ask me for 1/8 of the sum of money is, so 1 over 8 multiplied by x is equals to 40. So x would be 40 divided by 1/8, which is equals to 40 multiplied by 8 over 1, which is 320. So the answer is B. This one, the test mark out of, this is our next repeated question. 60% of 80, when it was 6 8s of 48, so the answer is B. This one here, again, we need the root of 181 lies between. This is 169 and 196. Alright, so the answer is E. Right, 181 does lie between those two values. Right, and that would be the end of May, June 2019. Now we're going to do January 2019. Right, this is our next repeated question. 2 over 3 all squared would be 2 over 3 by 2 over 3, which is 4 over 9. This one here, right, this is a repeated question. If we remember, it's 3.141. The number 3.14063 written to 3 decimal places. Even though it looks like a repeated question, always read the question, because sometimes they like to change it up. Right? 3 digits would be here. 6 is more than 5, so you have to add 1. This one, standard notation, you have to shift to the left hand side, so you know your power is positive. You want 1 digit in front, so it's not A, it's not B, and it's not D. And that power is positive, so it has to be A and cannot be C. This one here, this is a little bit different from, it is similar to a question. You'll see what I'm talking about. The answers and stuff didn't really change it. 560 is shared in a ratio of 2 to 3 to 9, which we know is 14 parts. 14 parts is equal to 560, so 1 part would be 560 divided by 14, which I believe supposed to give you 40. Alright, the difference between the largest and the smallest share, that is the difference between 9 and 2, 7. Yeah, 7 parts would be 40 multiplied by 7. 7 4s are 28. You add a 0, so the answer is C. Alright? If 60% of a number is, so if 60 over 100 multiplied by x is 90, then x would be 90 divided by 60 over 100. So x is equal to 90 multiplied by 100 over 60. Cross that out. 90 divided by 6 is right. 6 into 6, 1. 6 into 19 is 15. 15 by 100 is 150. 4 over 5 multiplied by 150 over 1. That's 30, so the answer is 120. The first common three multiples of 3, 4, and 6 are, we did a process of elimination and we saw it wasn't A, B, and C. 3 cannot go into 4 and 3 cannot go into 8, so the only answer is D. Right, that was a repeated question, and that's the end of January 2018. Let's go and do May, June 2018. This is a next repeated question. 3 decimal places here. 6 is more than 5, so you add 1, so the answer was B. What percentage of 40 is 8? That is 20%. Using distributive law, this was our next repeated question, which was 49 by 20. This one was 33 plus 13, which was 46. Alright, this one here is a common fraction. It's a repeated question, but we did do it a while back, which was 45 over 100. Divide this by 5, divide this by 5, and you would have got 9 over 20. Right? This is a repeated question. Let's see what they asked us. A certain amount of money shared in a 2 to 3 to 9 ratio. The difference between the first and second share is 40. Then the full amount was 560. We know that this was 14 parts. We know the difference between 2 and 3 is 1. So 1 part was 40. So 14 parts would be 14 by 40, which is 560. And that would be the end of May, June 2018. Alright, January 2018, paper 1, number theory 1 to 10. This is a repeated question, you know it's 20. What is the exact value of? So 6 over 0.0003. Shift this 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have to shift the decimal 1, 2, 3, 4. So this would be 6 with 4 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4 over 3. That would be 3 could go into 6, 2, and you have 4 zeros. So that would be C is the answer. Right, if 6 by 10 to the negative n is that. Alright, so first off, we need to know that this here is 6 over 100. So 6 multiplied by 10 to the negative n is equals to 6 over 100, which is 6 multiplied by 10 to the negative n is equals to 6 multiplied by 10. This would be, if you want to the power of, that would be 10 to the power of 2, right? Which is 6 multiplied by 10 to the negative n is 6 multiplied by 10 to the negative 2. So you could see that n is 2, right? Or you could have just used the answer. 10 to the negative 1 would be 0.6. Then 10 to the negative 2, you have to carry back that decimal point 2 places, right? That is the next way you could have done it. Using the answers, get it, right? But this here is using your laws of indices, which is not really number theory, but it's just an understanding, right? Paula bought 1.78 meters of fabric to make a shirt, while Rita bought 1.75 to make her shirt. How much more fabric did Paula buy than Rita? Alright, so we want to know the difference. 1.75 minus 1.75. Right, LCM here is 8. 1 minus 1 is 0. Multiply this by 1, multiply this by 2. That's 7 minus 6, which is equals to 1 over 8. So the answer is E. Alright, 5. What is the value of this approximately? Okay, so we know for a fact when you multiply that you're going to get 15, at some point 15. But you now have to realize that you have to shift your decimal point. Actually, you know what? Let's just multiply this, because 2994 multiplied by 5. You remove your decimal point. 5 4s are 20. 9 5s are 45 plus 2. 45. 46, 47, that's 47, cross out that. 9 5s are 45, 45 plus 4 is 49, right? 2 5s are 10, 10 plus, so that's this. Right, then you have to shift your decimal point. 1, 2, 3. Hold on. So the answer would be 5. Why did I add? No, this is supposed to be 14. Sorry. Because 2 5s are 10 plus this 4 is 14. So it would have been 14.97, which is 15. Alright, so the answer here is C. And next repeated question. We know that in this question they said 60% of the girls were 60% make up the class. That means there are 24 girls and a quarter, or 25% of the girls wear glasses. A quarter of how many girls in a class wear glasses? So that is a quarter of 24 is 6. So the answer is E. And that is the end. Oh no, hold on. Oh, this one was a little bit. This is when they kind of changed it up. That's why it had some laws of indices in this, right? In January 2018, it was paper 1 and it was number 1 to 10. So this is why it has so many more questions, and there were some laws of indices in the earlies. Right? Well, let's look at number 7. This is the same as, so we know that they have 3 in common, so that's 3 open bracket 7 plus 5. Right? Which is 3 multiplied by 7 plus 5. So the answer is C. The highest common factor, what is the highest number that could go into 30, 45, and 90? It will not be 90 because 90 cannot go 30. Hold on, here. So we want the highest number that could go into all 3 numbers, right? The largest number. The largest number, we start with 15. Can 15 go into 30? Yes. 50 go into 45? Yes. 15 could go into 90? Yes. So the answer is C. Alright, number 9. What is the least number? Before they were asking apples. Least number of plums. They changed this up. It had 9 here. 6, 9, and 12. It was 6, 15, and 16, 6, 5, and 15. Now it's 6, 9, and 12. So you put 6, 9, 12. That's 2. That's 3, 9, 6. Then 2 again. 3, 9, 3. Then 3. 1, 3, 1, then 3, 1, 1, 1, 2 twos are 4, 4 threes are 12, 12 threes are 36, and the answer would be B, B. Or you could have asked which number could go into 6, go into 27. No, so it cannot be A. Right? Through a process of elimination, you could have done that. If 3n is an odd number, which of the following is an even number? Hold on. If it's an odd number, let's use any odd number. Let's say an odd number of 3. 3 minus 1 will give you 2. But what about 3 plus 2? That is giving you 5. What about 3 minus 2? That is giving you 1. That is, we want even numbers. So we know for a fact that the only one that is giving you it's not this one, not this one. This one is giving you an even number. So I'll cross out D one time. So that would be your answer, A. Right? And that is the end of January 2018, 1 to 10. Now we look at May, June 1, 2017. Paper 1, number 1 to 10. This one is a repeated question. We know the answer is 13. This one is a repeated question. You know it's 2/3 that you have to add. This one, Betty and Anne share a sum of money in a 2 to 3 ratio. If Anne receives 60 less than Betty, what is the total amount? We know it's a 2 to 3, which is equals to 5 parts. They're asking you for total amount, so there is we have to find for 5 parts, right? We know that the difference between Anne and Betty is 1 part. So 1 part is equals to 60. So 5 parts would be 60 multiplied by 5, which is equal to 6 5s are 30. So 300. That would be the answer. Then this, right? When we are multiplying, we know we have to shift our decimal point, right? This is only shifted once, so we know if you don't multiply it, you'll get 1, 1, 4, 4, 4, 5, right? And this one you have to shift it 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're looking for something that has 4 digits after a decimal point. That is A. A would be your answer. Alright, this one, how many? This is a repeated question. 60% of 80 was 48. 30%, this was, we know that the number is 150. If you guys recall, and the answer should be B, which is 120. But let's try it. 30 over 100 multiplied by x is equals to 45. So x would be 45 divided by 30 over 100, which is 45 multiplied by 100 over 30. Cross out this, 3 into 3, 1, 3 into 45, 15. So your number was 150. Right, then 4 over 5 multiplied by 150 over 1, which is 5 into 5, 5 into 5, 1, 5 into 15, 30. 150 is 30, and 4 by 30 is 120. So the answer is 120. Right, what value of 2? This is a repeated. 2 is in the 200, so it would be this. What is the highest common factor of 12, 15, and 60? Okay. What? Number 8 is the highest common factor of 12, 15, and 60 is. We want the highest. What does all of this, what number could go into all of these numbers? Cannot be 60 because 60 cannot go into 12. Right? The only, what about 12? Can 12 go into 15? No. And 12 cannot go into 60. Right? The highest common factor would be 3. 3 could go into 12, 3 could go into 15, and 3 could go into 60. Yeah? Let's look at this one. This one, although it's looking a little bit different, we know that this would have been 33 plus 13, which is 46. Distributive law, this would have been 49 by 17 plus 3, which is 49. Why am I saying plus? It's not plus. 49 multiply by 20. Right? 1 second. D. And then finally, January 2017, paper 1, number theory 1 to 10. This is a repeated question. 2 over 3 by 2 over 3 is 4 over 9. This one here is a repeated question. We need to know that we had to add an extra 0, right? And you have to carry it back 2 places, and it was C. Do I need to go through this working, guys? Alright. Okay, let's go through this. This one, standard notation. We have to shift to the right hand side for 2 places. So it is not this, it's not this. And because we shifted it 2 places, it has to be A. Right, this one, what is it? Share between the largest and smallest. We did this question. We know that 1 part is equals to 40 because the total parts is 14 and it is 560 is the total. So 1 part is 14. We want the difference between the largest and the smallest share was 9 and 2 was 7. So 7 parts would have been 7 by 47. 4s are 28. So the answer is C. Right, this one, 60% of a number is 90. What is 4/5 of a number? Okay, I am not 100% sure. I believe that they kind of changed this. We did something like this and the answer was C, but let's do it. Right, 60 over 100 multiplied by x is 90. So x would have been 90 divided by 60 over 100. So x is equal to 90 multiplied by 100 over 60. Cross this out. This could go into this 15 times. That's 150. So 4/5 of 150 is in fact 120. This one is a repeat. I love to bring this question. How many girls in the class wear glasses? We know it was 6. Right? This one, we did this one. We said A was the answer. This one, we did this one. This was C was the answer. The LCM of 6, 8, and 24, we want the lowest common multiple that could go into this. Right? So we can ask ourselves, if 6 go into 36, can 8 go into 36? No. Can 9 go into 36? Yes. Because 8 can't go into it, it cannot be this. 6 go into 48? Yes. 4 go into 48? Yes. 9 go into 48? No. 6 go into 54? Yes. Can 9 go into 54? Yes. Can 8? No. So the answer should be 72. But let's try it. 6, 8, 9. You try 2 first. 3, 4, 9. Then you try 2 again. 3, 2, 9. Then 2 again. 3, 1, 9. Then 3, 1, 1, 3. Then 3, 1, 1, 1. 2, 2, that's 8, 8 threes. 8 by 3 is 24. 24 by 3 is 72. So the answer is B. Number 10, what is the value of 2? This is 2 over 100. Right? And that is the end of our lecture for multiple choice in, let's just go back to the beginning. For Csec Maths Paper 1, Section 1, Number 3, 2024 to 2017.